Well, thanks for coming back. You're going to be glad you did, because it is Science Fair, Science and Engineering Fair time again in Humble ISD. For many years, Science and Engineering Fair has been happening thanks to one person in particular that I'm going to introduce to you in just a second. But this is really a great event that goes on for a period of time and really allows our students, children in Humble ISD, to demonstrate some inquiry, some creativity, and gosh, the projects they come up with are just amazing. So with us to talk about Science and Engineering Fair this year, our first, Dr. Aaron Clevenson. Aaron, it is great to see you.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Dr. Clevenson is the person I was referring to a moment ago, who literally single-handedly, Aaron, 12 years ago, 13 years ago?
It wasn't quite single-handedly, but yes, this is our 14th year.
14th, we're in year 14. Created, initiated, and has since been coordinating Science and Engineering Fair throughout the district. Aaron, though, is going to be upstaged by Olivia Allen. Olivia is one of our fourth graders at Greentree, and Olivia, I appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Olivia, you won Science Fair last year as a third grader, is that right?
Yes.
That is so awesome. So belated congratulations, and I want to talk to you about that in just a second. Last but certainly not least, Kathryn Padhye. Kathryn is one of our Science and Engineering Fair volunteers, right, and has done that for quite some time, and we'll want to visit about that in a second. But Aaron, let me start with you. So very quickly, overview of Science and Engineering Fair, number of students involved.
Many of our schools have science fairs or science activities similar to science fairs. A number of them choose to join us in the district fairs as well. So we provide a judging exchange where we bring judges and we ask elementaries to send judges to other elementaries so parents don't have to judge their own kids' projects. And so right now we've got a bunch of elementaries that are getting ready to have science fairs. The spring is always very busy. We have somewhere between 15 and 20 that we'll do for the schools. We also have a number of schools that do their own. And then at the end of that, we culminate in, this year it's April, with a district-wide Science and Engineering Fair. And so all of the schools that participate at their own school level get to send 3 children from each of the grades to the district fair.
Well, and Aaron, you mentioned parents. So for the benefit of parents who are watching, in Science and Engineering Fair is new to them, what do we expect from parents?
Well, and that's a very good question. We do expect the parents to be involved. We want the parents to encourage the kids, be an extra pair of hands, ask them lots of questions so that they're prepared when they come to the fair and face the real judges and have to answer some of those same questions. It's very important that the students themselves do the actual project. They should be involved right from the very beginning all the way through to the conclusion. But we definitely want the parents to help.
Great.
In addition to that, if I may, we also need parents like Kathryn to help us with the fairs. And we use parents as judges, but we also use them as coordinators and also just volunteers to help out at the schools.
Well, I'm going to really want to pick Kathryn's brain about that in just a second. But Olivia, you were best in show last year at Science Fair. Tell us all, what was your Science Fair project that won best in show last year?
Well, my project was called To Yawn or Not to Yawn. It was about yawning and autism. I first started out just about the contagious yawn, and then I was reading an article about it, and it said that people with autism may be less likely to yawn, which made me very interested in autism and everything. So I started researching about autism and yawning and did my project on that.
Wow, and then did you come to that conclusion with your project, that in fact people with autism, yawning is not as contagious or effective to them?
We had 700 yawners observed and
wow,
9 times less likely to people with autism were 9 times less likely to yawn than people without autism.
Gosh, you did some really extensive research. That's amazing. That's quite a sample. Yeah. 700 yawns. Actually, you're making me a little bit sleepy, but that's okay. We'll get pepped up in a second. So Olivia, I mean, that had to take a lot of time. Mm-hmm. How much time did you invest? Do you remember?
Not really.
But it was a lot.
A lot.
Okay. And how was that experience at Science and Engineering Fair?
Well, I just like being there. It's really fun to like see everybody else's project and be able to like present my project to the judges and everything.
Awesome. Well, you are a very articulate young lady.
Thank
And
you.
congratulations again.
Thank you.
You know, Kathryn, and I'm going to make this very personal because totally supportive of, have been involved with Science and Engineering Fair. It's very, very impressive in terms of the difference it makes for kids who get involved with the fair. But when the matter of judging comes up, it's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. So what do you say to others, to parents, community members who really want to help and be supportive, but feel a little intimidated about judging science projects?
Well, I was there myself. I was not a science major in college and thought, well, I don't really have the credentials. Maybe I'll not be able to follow along, but you can. And they're wonderful projects to see, and you learn so much. I mean, just listening to Olivia reminds me about going out there and judging and just getting really caught up in what the kids were learning about. So it's not just great for them, it's great for the folks who get out there and judge. Aaron does a fantastic job of training the judges right before. He spends 45 minutes with us, walks us through. There's a judging sheet that you follow. Really, anybody can do it.
So you would encourage?
I would encourage it. It was a tremendous thing to do. And now I usually grab a friend and we'll go to one of the schools and we'll go judge, and then we go have lunch after and we talk about what we learned and all the new things that the kids are coming up with. And it's just terrific. It's a lot of fun.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and thank you so much for giving.
Oh, I get more than I give.
Well, that's great. That is great. Olivia, they're waving us. These segments go way too fast, but I'm going to ignore him for just a second. Let's talk about this year. So are you going to be involved with Science Fair this year?
Well, right now I'm trying to think of a project, but I think I will.
Okay. You want to reveal, maybe, do you have any thoughts on possible projects?
Well, this last night I was thinking about it. I have trouble sleeping without a fan, and I was thinking, does fans affect how other people sleep? Like, can you sleep with the fan? Or do you have trouble sleeping without or with the fan, and like the noise and effect of it?
I think that's a great project. Awesome. Now I'm trying to think about, what do I prefer, a fan or not? Well, great. Well, good luck coming up with that project. I know you're going to be very successful again this year. Aaron, again, thank you. You make all of this possible for our kids, and it makes a huge difference.
It's my pleasure.
And Kathryn, thanks for being with us. It's great seeing you again.
Always.
We'll look forward to your judging.
Thank you.
All righty, and you all stay with us. We'll be right back.